Hi parents, Peter Liciaga here, your Mount Laurel martial arts guy, and I wanted to go live a little bit earlier today. It's my mission to go live every day, just share some things that are on my heart with my community, especially parents, because I'm a parent and I'm a teacher, and I work with children at Donato Karate Center every single day. And because I work with children, I also work with their parents, which is pretty cool. I get to meet parents and their children. Parents share with me what they would like to accomplish with their kids in our martial arts program. And I don't know any of them that want their kids to kick, punch, and break arms or break boards. All the parents want their kids working on focus, self-discipline, and emotional control, and maybe defending themselves and dealing with other kids that are disrespectful, hurtful, and maybe say things that are mean, what people may call bullies. Of course, some of you have been following me. You know I don't like bullies. If someone's hurting your child, harassing your child, assaulting your child, I say call it what it is and then deal with it, and I talk about that. But every day I want to go live share with you guys. If you want to find out about where I teach Donato Karate, go to donatokarate.com or give us a call, 856-235-04. Now I want to come live earlier simply because I have a lot on my plate today. It's Thursday and I have things scheduled, and I want to make sure I get this out to you guys before I head out to DKC later on today. And I'll go live on the drive because I'm driving, and that's another opportunity to share with you. But I wanted to share with you this morning. Now, this week, we are speaking to the kids about reading and how leaders are readers. And a couple of kids have been sharing with me what they're reading these days, which is pretty cool. I love that. When kids are young, it's great because their minds are just ready to soak in, to sponge up all this knowledge. And it's a great opportunity for us parents to pour into our children, and also a great opportunity for us teachers to really pour into our kids. So we're talking about readers, being a reader, and how leaders are readers. So what I want to do is share with you a couple of books that I've read and focus on one book that's going to talk about this idea how change starts with you. Change starts with me. If we want our children or the people in our lives to change, quote unquote change, it starts with me, because really we cannot force anyone to change, and we can't, people will change on their own. But what we can do, we can inspire, motivate, and encourage others to change. And that's what I want to talk about today, this morning. So let me get a sip of my tea. I have some green tea because I have my heater on and things are dry. And so anyway, many years ago, somebody introduced this book to me, Point Man. And the idea behind this book, I guess I first read this book back in probably about 20 years ago. So I've had this book in my library for about 20 years, probably more than that. And you can see it's all stained up, and all my notes are in the back. And I like to really mess up books with notes and a highlighter and lines. But the idea behind this book is that the man, in this case the dad, the husband, is the leader, the point man in their family, that they lead the way from the front, not from behind. So if there's going to be any attacks on the family, it will hit the dad first. And we fathers, we dads have to be, because we're the point men, that we have to be equipped physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We have to be equipped for the battles, and then train up our wife and our children so that they are equipped. If I go down, my wife is in position. When she goes down, my oldest daughter and my son, they're both are ready to get in position. And so I train up my family. So this was a great book that I wrote. It's from Steve Farah, and it's great. So that was in my life. We'll share that with you. A book that I read last year was called Extreme Ownership. And this is where I'm going to springboard off of my conversation with you today. What I want to share with you, change starts with you. Now, before I get into this book deeply, this book was written by Jocko Willink and his buddy Leif Babin. They were both former Navy SEALs. Jocko Willink, I highly recommend you look him up. Get this book if you haven't gotten it already. He's a retired Navy SEAL commander, and he takes what he learned on the battlefield as a Navy SEAL commander and applies it to life and specifically to businesses, small businesses, large businesses. So he's taken this idea of extreme ownership, and I'll get to that in 1 second. Okay, a follow-up to that book was his dichotomy of leadership. The Dichotomy of Leadership, which is an awesome book, a great follow-up to his book, Extreme Ownership. Okay, guys, so let me go ahead and share with you what I'm reading now. What I will start reading in the next, probably starting this weekend, is this, High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard. Okay, I just got this book a couple of days ago, and I will start this book this weekend. And it's interesting. I have a lot of yellow. Look at all the yellow that I have in here. Everybody's going to have to look at my lighting on this. But anyway, extreme ownership. The idea behind this. Let me go to my note here where he says on this principle of extreme ownership, which ties in to this idea that change starts with you. If I want my children to change their habits or to pick up great habits, it starts with me. If I'm at DKC and I want our instructors and our CIT, our certified instructors in training, and our leadership team members and our Black Belt Club members and our basic students and the new students, if I want to see change in them, it starts with me. Even if I'm looking at, let's say, Master Donato. Master Donato, because he's not perfect, none of us are perfect. We're all striving to be the best that we can be. If I see that I can maybe improve what we're doing at the academy, and I think it starts with me. Change starts with me, not from the top down or from the bottom up. I take personal ownership, extreme ownership on my responsibility. And this is what and here what Jocko Willink says in here, and on the principle of this, that any team, in any organization, and this also is families, we're an organization, Team Liciaga, we are a small organization, a small part of our community. Any organization, all responsibility for success and failure rests with the leader. All responsibility of failure and success rests upon the leader. And that this is a mindset, this is a principle that I embrace. And I started embracing this about 20 years ago when I read this book. I realized that it was on me. If I want my family to be successful, it's on me. It's what I do. I'm the point man. And with this book here, extreme ownership, it's about me. It's about me. And so change, if I want to see change in my family, if we are struggling, with paying the bills, we're struggling with putting food on the table, we're struggling trying to manage our emotions in our household, if we're struggling with discipline, with focus, with self-control, it starts with me. So parents, here's the challenge. If you see in your child that they have emotional irresponsibility, they're not being responsible with their emotions, with their anger, with their getting upset at the drop of the hat, or them being rude or inconsiderate, we have to look at what are we doing. Because when I look at our students on the mats, and I see their kicks are just not right, especially our intermediate, but most definitely our black belts. Okay, I look at what they're doing and I see the habits that they're doing. And then when they're doing something that's not right, the first thing I ask myself, are they learning that from me? A perfect example is that I was telling the kids that they have to do straight punches, straight from the hip. Now, if you guys can't see, it comes from here, it goes there. The elbow stays in. See how my elbow stays in? Elbow stays in. Okay, and I was saying, but they kept putting their elbow out. And I kept explaining to them, you got to keep your elbow in, keep your elbow in. And I was saying that for months and months and months. And this was a couple of years ago when I was testing for my fifth degree, and then for my sixth degree. And then one day, Master Donato was training me. And then I did my form, and then Master Donato put a little smile on his face, and he said, Master Liciaga, you got to keep your elbow in, it's going out. And in that moment, I realized, oh my goodness, our students are doing that because of me. And I took personal responsibility and ownership that if I want to see change in our students with respect to that one little technique, keeping the elbows in, change had to start with me. I had to see it in me. So I got into this habit where if I saw something that was not right, that I needed change in our students, in my kids, or in the people that are in my circle of influence, I did not look to them. I looked to myself. Okay, I knew that change would happen in my organization, my family, if it started with me. And so this is a powerful thing for us to embrace, parents, that when we see that there needs to be change in our family with our children, we need to look at ourselves. We have to look at what we can do to facilitate, to inspire, to motivate, to encourage change in our children. So it starts with you. Starts with you, moms and dads, and anyone that has influence over children. We take extreme personal ownership on changes in our world, starting with us. And that's powerful. That's powerful. Okay, guys, so the first thing is this. First, look at how you think. Change. Look at how you're thinking. And if there needs to be change in how you're thinking, you must change that. You look at how your kids are thinking, the people in your lives that you surround yourself, look at how they're thinking. If they are thinking very negative and always complaining, okay, if that's their thought process, okay, you have to look at you. Okay, what are you doing? How are you thinking? What are you putting into your minds? Okay, what are you watching? What are you listening to? Okay, how are you spending your time as you take in all this stuff in your mind, and that becomes thoughts for you? Because I forget what someone says. We have thousands and thousands of thoughts through the day. Are you aware of what you're thinking? And then are you thinking about what you're thinking so that you then can make purposeful decisions on how you think? It starts with you, family, because a lot of times our kids will do something and the first thing we're thinking is saying, oh my gosh, what are you doing? What are you thinking when you do that? It starts with us, moms and dads. Next thing is this, how we act. Are we aware of how we're acting? And are we then assessing how we act? And then are we then purposefully acting in a very purposeful way? Because then, if we look at our children, they're doing things, they're acting in ways that we're saying, oh my gosh, why are you acting that way? Okay, maybe it's because they are modeling us. Maybe they see what we're doing and they're modifying it to how they are, and their interpretation of what we do, of what we do and how we act. They see that, they perceive what we're doing and acting, and then they model through modification, and they're doing it themselves. We have to think about that, parents. Why? Because if we see things that our children are doing, let's forget about looking for external stimulation, external examples of why they do what they do. Let's look at ourselves. Let's say, okay, what am I doing? Maybe they're doing what I'm doing and then modifying it, and it's a negative way. Or maybe I'm doing that and I just need to stop because I don't like what they're doing, but they're learning it from me. Now, if they're not learning it from you, because that's possible, because especially if they're in school, they're maybe learning it from their friends. How do we counter that? We may not be able to stop it, okay, but we can inspire and motivate and encourage our children and raise them up in the way they should go by how we act. And with the promise that one day, maybe not today, maybe they'll continue on that path acting a certain way, and regardless of how we act. But we know, and the promise is this, is that through our actions, we are teaching our children and raising them up in the way they should go, so that maybe one day that they decide to change what they're doing, how they're acting, that they'll have a model, that they'll look to us because we strived to do the right thing and we were acting right. So parents, how are you acting? The next thing is this, is how do you speak? Your communication, how do you speak? If you hear and listen to your children and how they speak, and you say, oh my gosh, I don't like the way I don't like what they're saying. I don't like the words they're using. I don't like their attitude and how they're speaking. Why are they doing that? So instead of, continuing getting on them about this, we stop, pause, and then ask ourselves, how are we speaking? Maybe they're learning it from us. So let's start with us. Let's take full 100% ownership on how our children are acting based on us looking at how we're acting and how we're speaking. And let's be aware of how we're speaking. Let's assess how we are speaking. And then let's move to the right appropriate action when it comes to us speaking. Being thoughtful, considerate, empathetic before we speak. It's better to say nothing than to say something that will disrupt someone's life or hurt someone or plant a seed that this negative speaking or this self-destructive speaking is right. We don't want to plant that seed. Okay, guys. So how you speak. So, guys, I thought I'd spend this time sharing that with you. If you want to contact me, please contact me 856-235-0414. Find out about the program that we have at Donato Karate Center. Not just for our little champions. We teach as young as 3.5 years old, but also for teenagers and also for adults. We have parents, we have dads coming in, training, and yes, they love the physical fitness part of it. They love the sweat. They love hitting the bags, but a lot of them are telling us they love the mat chats. At the end of every class, we speak about things of life. How martial arts can be applied to life beyond the kicks and the punches. So this week we're talking about leaders being readers. Parents, what are you reading? How are you feeding your minds? I've read books like this that have helped me to be the teacher that our students need, to be the leader that our students need. So parents, you need to be the leader that your children need. They need you. They need you to be the leader, to be the point person in your family, whether you are a man or a woman, a father or a mother, a dad or a mom, a grandparent, doesn't matter. Okay, take personal responsibility to leading the way to those that are in your lives. If we teach our children to do that, personal responsibility, and we teach them through our modeling, through our actions, we will make change in the world and we'll get better. So I am hopeful for an incredible future. Why? Because I know the work that I'm doing and I know the ripple effect that's having within my circle of influence, starting with my family. So parents, I'll leave you with that. If you have any questions, contact me. Go to our website, find out about our class schedule at Donato Karate Center, donatokarate.com. Also, we have a special going on for beginners. It's very easy. Try out a martial arts program. Try us out. It's 3 classes for $20. Really, really easy. Absolutely no commitments. No commitments. What am I talking about? Commit to the 3 days. But you guys, there's what I'm trying to say. Basically, just come in there, try it, and if you don't like it, fine. But you got to try it. You got to try it at us. And if you've tried our program in the past, come by, do it again, try it again. Every day we're getting better and better and better. We've been at this for 20 years, and we're always looking for opportunities to grow, and we have been growing and learning and implementing, executing, and you can see the result of that in our students. Our black belts are better today than they were 10 years ago. My daughter is a better martial artist than I am because she has seen my improvement. So she's better at 18 years old than I was at 18 years old. Light years better. So your children, bring them in, enroll them in our program, and I'd love for you to see what we can do as we partner up with you to raise up your child in the way they should go. So give us a call. Guys, have a great day. Thank you for spending this time with me. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.